One person who got us involved, the iHeartMedia family, all of the radio stations besides WSPD that iHeart owns, is Kieth Walker. He called us and said, I run a funeral home, and I'm just damn tired of burying people. I'm tired of burying sons and daughters, moms, brothers, sisters. You can't even imagine how many I bury every single year because of heroin overdoses and opioid abuse. He got us all started on this. And Help with Heroin is the website you can go to if you need any information at all. If you just want help, it's a great place to go. Zeph Recovery Center is involved in this. It's a great place to go for services. But it all starts with Mr. Kieth Walker from Walker Funeral Home.
It's sort of a roller coaster here with the hope that we see in team recovery and what the DART program's doing, and then the discouraging numbers that we hear from Dr. Forney. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to take us back the other direction now for a few minutes by the nature of what I do. Walking in here today, and Fred, you touched on this, but I was talking to Dr. Zahari, and he reminded me of a line that or a sentence that I said in another talk that I gave. And it was in response to why would a funeral home want to get involved in preventing death from heroin? And my response was, as Fred said, because we're burying too many young people, and we are. So I want to kind of give you a perspective from the funeral director tonight, very briefly, and give you some numbers, tell you specifically what we're doing and why we're doing it. So we have Walker Funeral Homes, and we have 5 funeral homes around the area: Sylvania, Maumee, Genoa, Oak Harbor, and Port Clinton. So we see urban, suburban, and small-town rural communities. And each one of those communities over the last, I really noticed in the last 2 years, we've seen a huge increase in the number of, I call it heroin, but apparently it's probably fentanyl and a lot of other things at this point, of opiate deaths. And in fact, I'll give you some numbers for this year. So just so far for the 9.5 months of 2016, just at our facilities, we've seen 15 heroin or other drug opiate deaths, 7 in Sylvania, 2 in Maumee, 1 in Genoa, and 5 in Port Clinton. The ages of these people were from 23 to 55, with the majority being between 30 and 40. In addition, and this is where Dr. Forney touched on, but it's really important to know about, we had a 74-year-old man who was killed when his truck was hit by a driver who was high on heroin. And then we also had 4 suicides by people struggling to get off heroin or opiates. So it's a total of 20 in 9.5 months at one funeral home company. But the bottom line, though, what we see, because we also deal with the living and our job is to take care of the living, is we see a devastated family left behind in every one of those situations. We see usually almost always parents, maybe a wife, maybe kids, brothers, sisters, and in some cases grandkids. And you know, whether it was a surprise that they had no idea that their kids were even using heroin, which is oftentimes the case, or they've spent many years and thousands of dollars, and in one case that I know of, millions, to try to get their sons and daughters off the drug, the grief's the same. The family's devastated, and they're never going to be the same. So whatever we can do to kind of put this to rest or to move it in the right direction, we want to. Real briefly, what we've done so far that Fred alluded to is we put about $50,000 of our marketing budget into this campaign at the beginning of this year. Through that, from the media and grants like iHeartRadio, we raised another $175,000. Put that in the billboards, radio, TV, and print campaign to raise the awareness with the hopes of starting conversations, getting rid of the stigma that people are afraid to talk about this, and showing people where there's help. We immediately started getting calls at the funeral home that we could refer to groups like Team Recovery or the Zeph Center or Renewed Mind, and we did some of that. Talking to people that are addicted at the time, calling us. It was really pretty intense. But that wasn't enough, so we started a website, helpwithheroin.com, that immediately connects people, whether you're calling for yourself, for a family member, or for an employee, to the right resources to get help immediately. And I hope it helps. I guess the numbers aren't really showing it is, but if we keep at it, we're going to hopefully make a difference. And I think the biggest thing we can do is stop it before it starts. And in most cases, as was alluded to tonight, or actually spoken tonight, and in fact, in every case I know about, it starts with a prescription. And they do that drug, maybe abuse it, Even high school kids, maybe not abuse it, but become addicted, then can't afford it, and then move into heroin. So that's one way we can help it, and I think together we can make a difference here. Thank you.